Welcome to the BCC Late Night Show, the show from the BCC late at night, where we say the stuff we wouldn't dare say during the day. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight, and I legitimately mean that this time, unlike last time. It was like half a year ago, actually, we did the last show.
Yeah, we were like, hey, we might do this weekly, but yeah.
To be fair, like, we got sick constantly after that.
Yeah, I don't know, that wasn't a fun period.
Hopefully the show should be much more regular now, because we're actually doing it also on our new secondary channel, the BCC After Hours.
Yeah, we're pretty much just gonna post whatever trash we can on that channel. You know, we got a lot of good stuff coming over there.
Yeah, we actually, it's unlisted, but I want to make public that video we recorded the other night.
You should.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like anything that shouldn't be out
I
there.
wanted to give it a thumbnail, though, because I do have, like, a very easy thumbnail template for this channel, just so we're still above just a general crud posting channel here. At least we'll have, you know, thumbnails.
PG, friendly, family clean.
Yeah, you know what? I will release that now if anyone hasn't seen it. Like, oh, Ryan, we were really disappointed last night when literally no one commented on it.
Yeah, well, again, yeah, it's like when you make something, it's not like it took a lot of effort.
It didn't take any effort at all. This is literally just us recording what we were doing.
Yeah, it's just like, but it's something incredibly fun, and it's like you could say it's more fun than like other stuff we make to put out in a sense. And it's like, and then no one comments on it. That's what I hate about being active at night, you know, and no one else is.
Yeah, that's like been our history with the BCC though. Like, we're up doing the greatest things ever, and no one notices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually gonna kick off the show with a listener question, and then we will get into our main topic of the night, which is movies you're going to hate us for saying that we love.
Yeah.
Interesting thing, me and Orion disagree on like a lot of movie stuff, but generally I feel like the movies that everyone else hates, we agree that we can like in those cases.
The ultimate hipsters.
It won't be The Last Jedi. I feel like The Last Jedi isn't like universally hated.
No, it's
a
that
good movie. Yeah.
That's the thing with like it makes it, the media makes it feel like it's massively universally hated, because like you can take a small issue on the internet and blow it up into a huge thing, whereas like you know, I've never actually met someone who hates The Last Jedi, you know.
Yeah,
I've only heard of them.
Yeah, I haven't actually met anyone in person. Oh wait, nope, never mind. There's a guy in except he didn't actually show up to class that night. He was watching the stream of class and commenting on it over chat, so I didn't see him in person when he was arguing against it.
There's only like two guys in my history class that will argue against Last Jedi, and it's just the same old you always hear. Oh, it's terrible because get no bite and all that.
Well,
but,
that's kind of like with the prequels too. Oh, it's terrible because Jar Jar. It's terrible because
I do think more people legitimately dislike the prequels than The Last Jedi, though.
Oh yeah, by like a large margin.
And the prequels are good.
Yes, yeah. But first, the questions.
Yeah, okay, so... Oh, darn, I'm in the totally wrong chat. That's why I'm not seeing any questions. All right, we have a question here first from Tenebrae Invictus, if he wants to come and ask it on air, or if he'd rather us just read it out. We'll see, because then we can give him...
Okay.
Guess he's
he's in
seems
class.
shy.
Yeah.
I like political slime's question better. Are memes good? Yeah.
Hey, no, that's not how the questions work. You can't just answer them all willy-nilly.
Well, I'm just saying, like.
All
that's
right,
a good
so
question.
yeah, we'll just ask, since he can't get on to ask it. We will just talk about it. All right.
Okay, what's the question?
How has Bionicle affected your social life, if applicable? Well, I'm going to answer for Orion first. It made it so he has one.
Well, I was actually going to say I have no social life, so it's like it can't affect it. Like outside of the BCC, I don't really, like, I don't know, all my coworkers are, I don't know, morons. No, I'm sorry. No, I don't talk to a lot of people. Like the most people I talk to outside of BCC would be just like, the person I check out with, at like a store or something. I don't know. I
Or
don't
that
talk
old
to a
lady
lot
you
of
told you to
people.
stop filming at Walmart.
Yeah, like her. That was a good dialogue we had going. I need to talk to her again.
That was still really weird that she had an issue with you doing it this time. The time you're not dressed up as a chef.
Yeah,
Do
she's
you
like
think-
those pesky vloggers.
Do you think the chef
No.
outfit intimidated them last time, so they didn't
It
want to approach
might.
you?
Yeah, am I too normal outside the chef outfit? Oh no.
So, for me, I'd say Bionicle affecting my social life, very much the biggest part is the BCC.
It sounds like does it inhibit, like, is it a disability inflicted on you?
Yeah.
Uh,
How do we cope with Bionicle in our social
Yeah.
life?
It'd probably be harder if like we were all wearing like Bionicle t-shirts with like backpacks and stuff. But
I would wear a Bionicle t-shirt if there was a legitimately good Bionicle t-shirt out there.
Yeah,
But there
I don't know.
isn't.
Like, I feel like there's like more legitimately good Minecraft t-shirts or
Yeah, there
Roblox
is.
t-shirts than there are Bionicle t-shirts. We should make some Bionicle t-shirts. Hey, some merch.
There have been some people who've made some pretty good ones, just still not ones that are good enough for me to like think
Well, the
I have
problem,
to
though,
have.
I find with like a lot of the ones Lego sold and like the ones I have seen, they look like shirts, like cheap shirts you'd get at a Christian rock concert. And no, I don't want that. I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
really
gonna
like
bite into an apple real quick.
there's a lot of things that really could go well with Bionicle shirts. Like if they'd have someone have to stylize it heavily because you can't just rip an image from Bionicle and put on a shirt. It would not work.
Get like a Unity Duty Destiny PNG and just slap it on a black shirt.
You know, like our old logo.
Yes.
We need to
Never
get
mentioned
some
that
new
thing,
shirts
yeah.
before Brick Fair.
Well, we need to like put all that fan art they've done of Cooking Hero Factory and make T-shirts out of that.
That was legitimately something me and Mal had to look into when we
Yeah.
were getting the new logo. Like, all right, can we afford the cost a new logo will put on us for having to buy new shirts and everything?
Yeah. I had to search a few websites, find how the logo would look, and it's like, oh, it looks good.
It looks really good on
Well,
shirts,
it-
actually. I'm
Hey, that's pretty
excited.
good.
But it's yeah, it's still money. So yeah, that's fun.
I'm interested in the shirt that Political Slime posted on chat. They says not to translate. It says you'll regret it, so I'm not going to do it while we're on air, at least. We'll do it off air. Or, once it gets later, maybe. Okay, Mal, you haven't really answered the question.
That's because you kept on getting off the topic.
Because you're the
I thought it would be
third
weird
guest
to-
host. You're kind of, like, expendable.
I'm like the afterthought, you know.
Mal's
the
kind of like a
backlash
third wheel.
Mal.
No.
Just-
Go away.
But Bionicle in my social life, so I guess I grew up in a community where Bionicle was cool and hip, so I had friends. We just break out the Bionicles. It was cool, you know. We talked about the
Bionicles.
new sets.
Where are
and-
those friends now?
Oh, I still have a few of them actually, and then there's the BCC who.
He still has a few of them, like in his
Those are-
closet. He has them. The friends he's talking to are like, inanimate objects.
When people are like from the BCC.
The friends I have are the
Oh, I'm
Bionicle.
gonna go to my friend's house or something. There's like this pool of jealousy that brews. It's like, oh, another friend, huh?
Actually,
Yeah,
I
are they
think
an
that's
impor-
just
are they-
you, Orion.
Are they as important as us? No.
Yes, even more so. But yeah, no, the BCC obviously was a part of that friend group, and those jerks kept me along this far for some reason, and I showed up on this late show, so there's that.
Wow. I think
Amazing.
Bionicle's affected Mal's life worse than anyone's.
Yeah.
All right. So, now let's get into tonight's controversial topic. There are some movies out there that generally, like, in the general mainstream, not media quite so much, but, like, general, what's the word I'm looking for?
Plebeians? I mean,
Kind of.
just
You know, like, people
the masses?
think they can say it, and then everyone agrees that they don't like the movies.
Yeah, just like a generalization of people, yeah.
So we're going to talk about the ones that we like,
Hmm.
that everyone thinks no one likes. And I think we talked about we wanted to start with the first one, The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now
maybe
the-
this is like to the like a lesser degree of that.
It's
I mean, there
definitely
are
a
more
lesser degree,
people-
but I still feel like there's some people who vehemently hate The Hobbit and think it's a horribly made film.
I see these other ones that we're gonna talk about. I can see people like justifiably maybe hating them,
Yeah.
but like hating The Hobbit, it is like if you hate The Hobbit, it's like you may as well just like hate the Lord of the Rings movies because I feel like it's on that same pedestal. I mean, they're not the greatest, or most thorough adaptations, and
The first
they-
one of
they
The
both-
Hobbit actually is like an extremely thorough adaptation, though, which is what I like
I'm
about it.
counting like the whole trilogy, I guess.
Yeah, the whole
But-
trilogy, but overall,
I mean, they're movies. They're like great popcorn blockbuster movies that look absolutely amazing.
it's generally the people who like really love Lord of the Rings that really hate
'cause
the Hobbit movies.
They don't want it to be like fun. They're like, oh, we need it like dark and gritty with like orc decapitations.
Well, there
or
are
whatever.
decapitations, quite a
Yeah,
few
and
of them
that's the
actually.
thing. And like Battle of the Five Armies, like the one that I own, it says it's R-rated on the Blu-ray for the
Yeah, I
extended
haven't seen that one. I want to see the extended. I haven't seen
It's-
any of the extended Hobbit movies yet.
It's really
Same.
funny because there's that scene where they're like on the wheel chariot thing on the ice. Like one of the wargs goes under the wheels and like they churn out just like a ton of warg guts and blood like a wood chipper.
But I know
almost. It's
another
so
thing
funny.
people get really mad about is the CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. You can't complain about the Hobbit CG and then be like, "Oh, the Lord of the Rings is an absolute pedestal of CGI."
You know, my
I
friend
mean-
John, this is something like we have the arguments about the most, is the Hobbit movies, because he is one of the people who absolutely hate the Hobbit movies and think the Lord of the Rings movies are like some of the best movies ever.
See, I actually disagree. I think the Lord of the Rings movies are like really, really solid 8 out of 10 films. But
Yeah,
they're
I would
not-
agree.
They're like I at the time of them coming out, because of how different they were and how culturally
Mhm.
significant. Like, yeah, they were the thing back then. But now, it's a lot easier to look at them objectively, and they're not extreme pinnacles of cinema. I don't think.
I mean, if people really love them, cool, that's their thing. But I don't
Yeah.
think that takes away from... The Hobbit movies aren't meant to be just like the Lord of the Rings movies either, very clearly.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say I don't like this argument where people like they're not meant to be masterpieces, because if you're not trying to make a good film, then I don't know what you're trying to make. And I think
Mhm.
they are flawed films, but they're not horrible. They're definitely not as bad as like your run-of-the-mill blockbusters like Jumanji or like half of the Rock films. With
Now, what
people
I
seem to
can
love.
understand is people saying, why did they stretch the one book out into 3 films?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think
mean,
it should have
I didn't
been
have a
2.
problem. Yeah, you know what? I think it should have been 2-2 as well. 2-2, yeah, that's a good one. But I don't mind it being 3. I would take 4 just because I like being in the world Peter Jackson has interpreted for Tolkien.
Speaking of Peter Jackson, this is something I've heard the most. I've heard people say the Hobbit movies made me realize that Peter Jackson only wants to make money. That's stupid on
Well-
several levels. First off,
Because that's the point of a movie. to
Yeah.
make money essentially. Now, again, I'll argue for art house and stuff. It's not necessarily to make money. I mean, you can make money off of art house films, but they're not necessarily made for that. It's the producer's job to make sure they make money, but it's the artist's job to make something different. But with like a normal, blockbuster film, and I'm not saying you can't make art with a blockbuster film, but it's not meant to be like that. It is meant to make as much money as possible. And wait a minute, I would say the Hobbit is very arty almost. It's very different from a lot of blockbusters.
okay, Jonathan Drawn brings up in chat the Goblin King. I've heard that a lot of people too. I never thought it was that bad, to be honest. The Goblin
No,
King.
well, I'd say like the Goblin King actually is like, well, I guess are you saying like the breaking point is in like CGI because
I'm
he looks better than like a lot of villains in Marvel. And
I've heard
like
the guy even I'm
the
assuming he's
Hobbit,
saying CGI because I've heard people argue that it's really bad CGI. I know some people
the,
also didn't like his attitude in general.
like the Goblin King's
Yeah.
attitude. I felt like it fit like what Tolkien, not Tolkien, but what Nolan, not Nolan,
Nolan! What the heck is
no,
Nolan doing
not
here?
Nolan. I'm sorry. Um,
Actual
I feel
bad
like
director.
all like what Peter Jackson was going for. That yeah, that's exactly what he was going for with the tone of the movies. It is a very childlike movie, at least the first one. You know, it's kind of got that whole adventurous kind of crude vibe to it. I don't really like that. And like yeah, he's animated better than like 90% of Black Panther CGI.
Black Panther had extremely disappointing CGI,
Horrible.
to be fair.
No, it was bad, real
Okay,
bad.
I think we should clarify, too. We're not at all arguing that these films are flawless.
No, they're not flawless.
There's
but
quite a few issues in these movies, but I legitimately just genuinely enjoy them so much.
I think there's just so much joy and like visual flair, and they're eye candy movies.
Hmm.
But unlike stuff like Avatar, I feel like there's enough substance in the story and enough charisma in the actors and in like
That is
the
something I don't get.
dialogue.
Why is Avatar praised so much more? I don't like
think
Avatar
nowadays
at all.
Avatar is kind of like looked down on more now. But
There are still a lot
it
of
was
people
looked,
who
it,
like it.
It was nominated for Best Picture though at the time of its release. The Hobbit, which is a much better film, I think. If a lot of people compared the two, again, you know, The Hobbit isn't that bad. If you compared An Unexpected Journey to Avatar, I mean, that The Hobbit is a much more
It's just generally
worthy
more
contender.
entertaining. Avatar gets really
Yeah.
boring. That's in general, that's what I like about it. It's just honestly, I prefer The Unexpected Journey to any movie in the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. The other two I can see. I feel like neither of the second and the third in the Hobbit trilogy didn't live up to the first one. I still really like them, but I feel like the first one to
I
me is more enjoyable than any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Desolation of Smog actually I think it's actually my least favorite of
Yeah,
the
I would
three.
agree. The issue
Outside
Desolation
like
of
the
Smog,
part.
it's actually a very basic issue with it in that there's no real climax to the movie.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of like middle parts of
Mhm.
trilogies
And
have
there
a
was no
problem with.
Desolation of Smog in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and the problem though as well I felt was like the elf arc. I don't know that.
Yeah, the
that
elf arc.
wasn't
Okay, that legitimately
good.
is garbage. I can agree with everyone on that.
That's actually by far the worst part of the entire trilogy. Yeah, the elf part. Yeah, that is the worst part.
I don't know. When will people realize that adding love triangles to things is just bad? And when you add in a dwarf elf love triangle with Legolas in it, it just gets worse.
Political Slime says a cliffhanger that was resolved within the first 15 minutes of the next film, which
Hey, like The
hurt
Last
next
Jedi.
film. Yeah, yeah. Wait. Which is a better film, The Last Jedi or Battle of the Five Armies? I'd say The Last
The Last
Jedi.
Yeah, Last
Although
Jedi.
I would actually say The Last Jedi has like more like plot problems, more script problems than Battle of the Five Armies does.
Well, that's
Yeah, it
because the
definitely has
Battle of
more
the Five
script
Armies
problems.
doesn't
It has a
have
lot
as
more
much-
plot holes.
But I feel
as
like
much plot.
I feel like the
It-
narrative is more cohesive in The Last Jedi and the characters are better.
Oh yeah, they're like way better written too, as well. Like that's another thing. In The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey, I feel like the characters, I feel like they are evenly balanced for what they could do with those many dwarves. But then in the other movies, yeah, they kind of left all that out and just kind of focused on whatever. I still get chills thinking about like the was it the tree scene with the fire, and like
Oh,
Oak and
yeah,
just like striding down it.
Mm.
That I saw that movie 5 times in theaters, and like I got chills every time. It was
I
don't know,
still
it was
really
so-
need to see the extended versions of these. I find the extended versions of both The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings can be very hard to find at a decent price.
I feel bad because I have them, but they're only on standard definition. I like missed out on getting the Blu-ray, and I feel terrible.
Remember when they released that box set? I think it was like all the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like
It was,
ridiculously expensive. Like,
I think it was over $300. And
yeah,
yeah, it was basically just the movies on like a wooden Hobbit stand thing,
yeah.
and it was $300.
I don't believe it even. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone in the audience too, but I don't think it had any exclusive bonus features.
No, no, it didn't. It had all the same bonus features, actually. I know that for a fact.
All right, yeah. They really need to release a decently priced box set of all those now that it's been quite a while.
Okay, so here, John says the Hobbit CGI isn't necessarily bad. It's just that they decided to overly rely on motion capture for the orcs instead of makeup like they did for the original trilogy. So yeah, I agree that they did rely on them overly, but I won't say it's a bad thing because I feel like when you're watching, what is it, the flashback that they have of like Thorin at the gates of dang it, what's it called? I forget what the names are. But like where he gets the oak shield first and he fights the big monster guy, the pale orc for the first time. Yeah. I feel like in that setting, if you had like orcs in makeup and stuff and like just like guys in suits, it wouldn't like fit the style of that scene, which is very like a lot of bloom effect, very like glitzy looking. I don't think it'd fit the style. There are scenes in The Hobbit where I think it would fit, but overall, I think that CGI sort of style, that kind of glistening, very smooth style, fit the movie a lot better than it would in normal suits.
Yeah, here I can understand people's preparation of the normal makeup and costumes and stuff for the orcs, but that goes back to my original point: is these movies aren't meant to be the same style as the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like in Lord of the Rings, that grittier style, you need that more visceral, more real, feeling, and I think the suits put that in there. It made it more grounded. This is anything but grounded. I mean, yeah, like that barrel scene in Desolation of Smog, that's not grounded. Come on.
Yeah, it is a different tone with these movies, and I think that makes sense for the decision to rely more on CGI and green screen. It was a much more like whimsical tone in the Lord of the Rings.
And like, if we're gonna criticize special effects, I don't even like doing this, but like, if you look at the Lord of the Rings, I watched it recently, and the scene where like Boromir's boat goes over the falls, it looks kind of funny because it's not. I don't think it's animated very well. But like, I don't want to criticize that because for its time, it was really great, and like, I don't have a beef with visual effects being dated or aging at all. It's just how things work.
Yeah.
It's like, should they have put Sean Bean in the boat and like just send it over the falls for real? Lord of the Rings, yes. Sean Bean dies for real.
Yeah, let's make that should be like the special edition.
Special. It would be funny if like Sean Bean, he's like on his last leg and his dying wish is
Sean Bean gets diagnosed with cancer, so he decides to go out this way.
Yeah, he's like, all right, Peter Jackson, I want you to refilm that scene, but we're doing it for real this time. And like in the extended edition or like the bonus features, if you listen closely enough, you can hear him screaming as he goes over the waterfall. Priceless.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to take another question. Leo, if you could pick one for us and see if they want to get on call, and we will buy you time. We suck at this.
No, you suck at this. I'm just here for the ride,
No, you.
Well, you're not just here for the ride. You're still supposed to be contributing. Like, we're putting more pressure on you, actually.
If this is a ride, it only ends in going over the waterfall like Sean Bean.
If I was supposed to be contributing, I have been failing at that because, you guys are having a good dialogue, and Orion always wants to make sure he talks about the movies,
Oh, come on. Man,
Leo has failed at his job. I guess I will do it. Let's see. What do we have here for legitimate questions?
Are memes good?
Yes, we are blessed to live in the age of memes.
Yes.
Is Mal good?
Yes, I am a meme.
Like, shakes up the 8 ball is Mal good? Probably.
I'm trying to find questions. Like, there's some here that aren't bad, but just like are only applicable to one of us, which I don't want. And some of them are just total jokes.
I'm scrolling up trying to find. Wait. Oh, wrong chat.
Let's see. All right, let's take this one from Jonathan Juan. Who do you think will die in Infinity War? Actually, I don't think anyone in this one.
I think Hawkeye.
Really? Hawkeye?
Yeah, because of this. Oh, wait, I don't want to spoil it for people. I mean, I pretty much know he's gonna die. And,
I don't think he's actually gonna die.
From what I've heard from
No,
comments,
I mean,
they say Hawkeye's arc will stretch across both movies.
Yeah,
Infinity
that's
War,
what the rumors have said. But like, can I like say spoilers and then everyone plug their
Yeah,
ears?
anyone who knows the comics knows what we're getting at here. So, yeah,
So I can say?
slight spoilers. Like, we don't actually know anything officially. It's just from information that's already out there.
Yeah, it's like there's already set photos as like of Hawkeye in the the Ronin costume as resurrected Hawkeye. So I mean, if he does die, I'm pretty much betting my money on it.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't counting it, though. I'm talking about legitimately
Well, I mean,
dying.
like,
Now, if we're talking
Oh,
Avengers
oh,
4, I can make more
legitimately?
predictions.
oh, are we talking like legitimately dying or like
I
dying
have
and then
a
coming
theory
back?
on
I would say
some
legitimately,
people who are going
that's-
to die. Some
Okay.
random extras, maybe some civilian police,
Maybe
or
Stanley.
some Shield agent, like random. I mean, there was that Shield agent who died in the first Avengers. I think this is gonna go full circle, and another one will die. Even though Shield isn't like existing anymore, it'll be like a last hurrah. Yeah.
Actually, I feel like Hawkeye and then like Loki will die. I feel like those but like Hawkeye will come back. I don't know about Loki or not. I don't know what Tom Hiddleston's contract is.
Vision will die, I think, but he'll come back.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, they pretty much like confirm Vision will die. I think just
In
like
the trailer,
way-
yeah.
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 Thanks, Marvel. I don't think Captain America or Iron Man will die at all. Like
I
if
think
we're
they'll die in the fourth one, maybe.
Yeah, like in the fourth one, I feel like everyone will die except Tony Stark, and then he'll use like the time stone to go back or whatever.
I don't think that that'll happen. No.
I think that would be
I think
cool.
I
maybe.
think at least Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. will die because they're it's pretty much confirmed. Chris Evans especially is not doing any more movies after Avengers 4.
But he actually did say though he's not like Chris Evans said he's retiring after doing what is it, Captain Marvel, but he said his character is retiring as well. He said he wanted to have like a happy ending for Cap.
If it was a happy ending,
Or like he said the character is retiring, at least. That's what he did say.
all right. You see, I would actually like more so if they retired at the end rather than died. I feel like the idea that a character's arc can only end when they die is
Yeah.
a misguided idea.
Well, remember though our idea for like the old Avengers, like have everyone have like one more movie left on their contract,
Yeah.
and then like
Yeah,
have them all
we should probably
retire.
actually explain to that what that is to the audience.
Yeah, the old Avengers.
So me and Orion one night were talking about what would be the coolest thing ever is if they all kept one movie on every actor's contract. So in like 20 years, they could, like kind of like a good version of the Expendables.
Yeah.
They bring them back when they're. It's like the ultimate version of Old Man Logan. They legitimately bring back all these old actors who played them way back in the day and have them come together one last time, way
Old
after you
Thor?
think it would happen.
Oh man, old Thor would just be great.
Oh,
And you
I-
have like it'd be good. It'd be a good character arc too, because it's like old Thor, like old Odin. You know?
I have a hard time. I feel like Chris Hemsworth would still be so youthful even when he's old.
I wonder if he'd still be like really buff too.
Well, look at J.K. Simmons.
Oh man, yeah. No, I think he'd be healthier looking. I saw Justice League, and he doesn't even take his shirt off for the movie. I don't even know why Zack Snyder made him get so like ripped for that.
You know,
That's
I should
so
put up the
weird.
picture of him in the stream for people who haven't seen
Yeah.
it, and it'll haunt their nightmares.
He just got he looks legit more ripped than Ben Affleck does. Like
It's
the
honestly disturbing.
veins.
He's still so skinny and frail, but he has like
Like,
these
his
muscles that are
skin is
gonna
thin.
bulge out of his body.
It's so creepy.
Trying to get an image here into the stream,
Ben Swallow.
and the guy I was trying to get on call isn't responding to me, so I'll probably go into the next movie after I get this. I need a better method of getting the images in here. Alright. Of course, it's totally irrelevant by the time I actually get around to it.
Well, it's for the kids.
For the... Okay.
Is that a good Christmas gift? It's like a doll version of ripped J.K. Simmons without a shirt. It's like a Fisher Price toy, you know. Bring home the protein powder this Christmas.
Alright, here is the picture. There it is. For all of you who haven't seen it yet, and I guess I'll post it on Discord, because quite a lot of people are tuning in from there.
Also, Justice League, I feel, was way worse than Batman v Superman. If that
I still
was,
haven't
like,
seen it,
humanly
actually. I've just not
possible.
been motivated.
It's not even worth watching.
I gotta watch it for the memes, at least.
There's no good memes at all.
There's his lip, though. Superman.
Well, okay, the lip, though, yeah, sure, but it's just...
Yeah, I gotta watch it just
It's
for that
incredibly
legendary
boring.
CGI.
Yeah, it's like really boring. Like at least Batman v Superman had like some sort of narrative. I mean, this literally has the villain from like Wonder Woman
Oh yeah,
as the main
I
antagonist.
did see the Steppenwolf looks awful.
Yeah.
I like how people like DCU guys
DC
are like,
has-
oh, those Marvel tards. You know, they're like,
And I want to put on the record to say I am not at all anti-DC. I really like DC, which is why these movies are so disappointing.
But it does not look as good as Thanos at all. Thanos looks like an actual prosthetic. He's so good.
Thanos looks like you could actually imagine him in a real universe.
Thanos looks like
Looks
Josh
like-
Brolin got like a really bad skin disease. It's so good.
Yeah, when the MCU is doing good CG now, Black Panther side, which is sadly a fluke.
Yeah.
In Thor, I rewatched Thor Ragnarok the other night. Hulk looks so good in that.
And
Yeah.
also like the earlier Marvel movies, like the original Thor, and especially Iron Man, which has like some of the best CGI still
think-
in the.
Yeah, I feel like the earlier Iron Mans actually are better with the suits than the newer movies.
Yeah, like Iron Man 1 and 2 have better CGI than Iron Man 3, but to be fair, it's because in Iron Man 3 they had to spread the budget out further because there are like way more special
Yeah,
effects.
that is true.
I do feel like overall some of the CGI, because the movies have gotten more expansive and bigger, has gone downhill compared to the first ones.
But still, I was just so impressed rewatching Thor.
About Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk, because I never get the feeling of uncanniness in Thor Ragnarok. It's something I love about it. It's just really
actually a group of
immersive.
people that don't like Hulk. They say he looks like a weird rubber plastic doll.
What, how do you get rubber or plastic from that? He's
They
like
say
not-
he looks like a shiny rubbery.
But he's
like,
not even
one of those
shiny.
Flexi stretch dolls or whatever.
In the old, maybe in like the first Avengers movie, he looked a little shiny, but he does not look shiny at all in Ragnarok.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like the reflections off. Like, I can definitely see how people would think he looks like a rubbery doll thing. But I mean, I don't think it looks bad at all. I think it's just like a different style. I think it looks
if
great.
people can make their faces all rubbery, then Hulk should have no problem with it.
Like, if the Zuck can exist, why can Hulk not?
That is true. We were talking about before we got on call, like how Mark
His
Zuckerberg
screams.
looks like he's always CGI, basically.
Just like all that sweat on his face. He's just like sweating constantly. Did you see that video where I think I linked it before for you, but I don't know if you saw it, where it's Zuckerberg, he has his hoodie on, you know, and he's at an interview and they're talking to him and he's like awkwardly shifting around in his seat like Zuck tends to do. And he's like, you know, I think I'll take the hoodie off. You know, because like he's like sweating bullets. Okay, he takes the hoodie off. And like it's a really warm hoodie. We imprint our motto on the inside. And like what you do? And they turn it around and show the camera. It looks like an Illuminati Mason symbol on the inside of the jacket. It's so funny. And like Zuck is just like so uncomfortable looking. He's just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now they know my secrets.
All right, let's go to another movie now. Which one do we want? We talked about. We have like several ideas here, but we don't think we discussed which one.
Let's do Bayformers.
Okay, this is the one we'll probably get the most hate for, actually.
Yeah. Let me preface it by this. I think Michael Bay is an auteur. There's no other filmmaker out there like him who can do what he does.
Should we say in our defense anything, or should we just let people hate us?
I mean, you can let people hate you. I think we should definitely like. I think he's. Yeah, I don't think anyone can direct action like Michael Bay. Sure, it's overblown. Sure, it's like bombastic, but it's incredibly fun to watch, I think.
I agree. And I do want to preface it by saying, out of all the movies we put on this list, I probably have the most issues with these movies still. There's a lot of issues I have with them. Mostly, there's questionable content in a lot of them, and the plot's pretty bad. But what justifies them is they are incredibly entertaining to watch.
Shia LaBeouf is like the greatest actor.
Nah, he kind of sucks, but that makes it even better.
His sucking is like the greatest thing, though.
I actually prefer the Mark Wahlberg movies to the Shia LaBeouf ones.
How dare you?
No, I put it out like 10 times more incoherent. That is kind of fun though.
Yeah, but they are 10 times more. Like me and Orion watched The Last Night together over the summer.
I didn't even know what was happening.
We did not like. There's so much just thrown in there, but the reason we love it is because we were laughing basically the entire time and may have annoyed the only other two people in the theater.
Well, and I saw the same thing. I saw Age of Extinction with my cousin Chris. And like, yeah, the same thing. It was amazing. We were just laughing like crazy, and it was just, yeah. But again, though, maybe this is more or less not exactly defending Transformers, the movies, but more or less defending Michael Bay, because like
defending our enjoyment of them at least.
Exactly. Like these movies, though, they wouldn't work without Michael Bay. Like if you had like any other generic action director, these movies they wouldn't make as much money, I don't think, and they wouldn't be as different. They're incredibly different than any other blockbuster out there, I think. Because they take what a normal blockbuster does and they like amp it up by 100.
Now, I think they could be like legitimately really good movies if there was a competent writer behind them.
Right. Like I think Age of Extinction and Last Night had like 7 writers between them. It's what writers call a Frankenstein. They'll take different writers, they'll have them write segments, and then they'll have a more competent writer come in later to stitch it all together. And I can't remember who that writer was, but I think it was Akiva Goldsmith or whatever. I can't remember what the name is. But he's famous for writing such classics as what is it? Legend of Hercules by Brett Ratner and Batman v Superman. I think, yeah.
Yeah, if they actually would get like a writer that could give us good characters, because you're not attached to any characters in the Bayformers movies whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, that's a time-honored Transformers tradition. You never like the human characters.
Oh
yeah, that's true. Also, we have been watching.
Oh my goodness,
Transformers Prime, specifically me, Klenda, Ford, Leo, and Mace. Are you ever there? I don't know if he's ever there. Mace is there sometimes, I think. I know he's seen it at least. Mace has seen like literally everything I currently watch. That's why I always go to Mace whenever I'm watching a TV show and then something happens and I need to talk about it.
Okay, Mace just said he has seen the whole series.
Yeah, he has. I don't know what Mace hasn't seen actually.
Mace, what have you not seen? But like you were saying though, people who say like, "Oh, the Bayformers movies aren't as good as the old Transformers series or movies," it's like, uh, um, hmm, I don't know about that,
Look, I can
man.
understand if it's purely out of nostalgia, you can argue that, and you admit that.
Yeah,
I can get behind that. That's
like
fine.
at like a purely subjective level, yeah, sure, but like on the opposite of a
I do
purely
think, honestly, that the Bayformers movies have a much higher production value than the 80s Transformers movie. I'm just... That's my honest opinion.
You think they're wait? Sorry, you cut out
I
there.
think
What
that
did
the
you say?
Bayformers movies have a much higher production value than Transformers the movie from
Oh,
the 80s.
not like a long shot because they have like millions of dollars at their disposal. But like yeah, like I think the Transformers movies back then are animated just about as competently as episodes of Neo Yokio.
To be perfectly fair to them, they did have a small budget.
Yeah, they did have a small budget, but like people praising like, oh, the art direction is so good or like whatever. I mean, maybe the music's okay, but I've heard a lot better synth in my days. You know, it's they're not pinnacles of
I will
animation.
say I do like that main song from the 80s movie though.
Yeah, so some of
There's
that's
some
pretty
good
good.
stuff in it still. It's not like trash.
A lot of people though,
But
I,
I feel like that's what gets me with a lot of the arguments from the Transformers fans against these movies. Is
yeah, you
they're like, this
can't
is
do
so
the
much better. No, that has flaws too. And I think,
probably greater flaws in some aspects. Like,
yeah,
are there even characters in the or are they
there
just
are.
toys?
No, there's definitely characters in. I didn't watch much of the classic series. I've only seen a few episodes. I've seen the movie though like 3 times.
Really? Okay.
Just because we
I,
had that when I was a kid and we would watch it because it
it's
was
pretty
there.
much the same here, although I don't really remember too much
How
from
did
the
your
movie.
parents let you watch that movie?
No, not as a kid. I'm just saying like in the
Okay.
past year.
That's another strange thing about okay. I have an issue with the language in the newer movies, especially when it's really random too. The way they throw it in
I find it
Bayformers.
so funny though because it's like there's a scene where in the fourth movie, Age of Extinction, where John Turturro is just like, I don't know, disrupting innocent Chinese marketplaces, and he runs into this lady, and he basically turns to like Mark Wahlberg or somebody, and he's like, how do you say get expletive out of the way in Chinese? And
Yeah,
he's
I
just
really
like,
didn't like that.
it's so weird. And then he's like sucking on this like Chinese or milk thing.
The
that's
juice
obvious
box, yeah,
cross
that part I actually found legitimately funny, just how ridiculous
then-
it was.
And then he swears about something else. And it's just I don't it's just like all over the place.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, the original '80s movie did that too,
Yeah.
on a lower
Again,
level.
yeah.
But I remember as a kid, they swore in a movie about toys.
Well, this was at a time though when like RoboCop had a toy and like Aliens had a toy.
That
and
is
Terminator
true,
had a
but the toy came first.
And those
in
were
this case.
awesome, but I guess so.
And it's at I think I can remember 3 distinct points. That they just randomly swear, and I found it really, really odd. It feels so out of place because, as far as I'm aware, too, from what I've seen, the cartoon didn't have any swearing in it.
No, not really.
Not real. Like some stuff would push it, I can't remember what ones. Maybe I'm thinking of like Ren and Stimpy or whatever. But there were like stuff on like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, stuff like that. That would definitely push it for kids.
So, I think we've said almost everything we can about this. Basically, the reason we're even ranting about this is because the people that tell us basically we're not allowed to like them.
And for me, I like the
Oh, yeah, you're here.
Bayformers. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for noticing that. I like them. What? I was 9 when they came out, and at the time, I was a pretty big Transformers fan, and so to see the movies at that scale, like, sure, you got a few action scenes, but then boom, it's just gigantic. It's on the big screen. It was pretty cool just for the time, and then that's where I just kind of dropped out of the Transformers fandom. But
Well, Well, yeah, there's that thrill of like seeing like a childhood toy or something, get adapted.
Yeah,
And
so
I think that's why I really liked the Marvel a lot back when it first started. You know.
you didn't grow up with superheroes though.
No, but I grew up like around people who love superheroes, and I thought it was
So
like really
you're
cool.
you liked that you could finally replicate what you saw people have that you couldn't.
Well, no, I like the fact that something that we hadn't seen before was happening. Now it's just kind of, I feel like a lot of people like Marvel, the whole cinematic universe thing because there's like literally no other competitor. It's literally the biggest thing, and that's why people, a lot of people enjoy it for that aspect. It's the only biggest thing of that aspect. I mean, we're not going to compare the DCEU with
Yeah,
Marvel
that's
here.
a totally no logical person can even begin to argue that the DCU is anywhere near any sort of scale to Marvel.
I think it's bad when you can say like the best DCEU movie is Man of Steel, and I actually kind of like Man of Steel.
I do.
But I don't
enjoyed Man of Steel. It's not something I'd want to rewatch though.
But it's like, yeah, that Wonder Woman though, man. I actually didn't. I liked Wonder Woman less than I liked Justice League, and I rated Justice League a 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
It's just
Man of Steel, even though it has to rank up with some of the worst Marvel movies.
worst Oh, well, actually, I like Man of Steel better than I like the Incredible Hulk or Thor: The Dark
Okay,
World and
okay, I'll give
stuff.
it that. It's better than Incredible Hulk. I'd actually say I'd prefer
I
Thor:
think
The
it's
Dark
like
World
a
to
really
it, though.
solid, a really solid 6 out of 10 movie for me.
The biggest issue with that was it was trying to be too emo.
Yeah, it was a little bit too try hard, and I did just a little bit of digging on Zack Snyder, and I remember, yeah, there's this quote by him. He was talking about when he first heard about Watchmen and about comics. He said, "I had no real interest in comics until like, where's like the blood and the violence and all that stuff, all the graphic stuff." And then when he heard like when Watchmen came out, that they said that's when he really got interested in comics and graphic novels. So you can already tell where his like attention lies in that scheme of things.
And that's
It's
why
not
we have the scene of Batman shanking the guy in the extended Batman v
Yeah.
Superman.
It's like Watchmen is a really beautiful looking movie, and I think it's a pretty entertaining movie, I think, but it misses the point like about what Watchmen even was, because all Zack Snyder is obsessed with is like glorifying the violence and like the edginess, people
Zack
saying,
Snyder
"Oh,
is
the
another
dialogue."
director who needs to work with someone to have the best aspects of
Yeah,
his
work with a better writer.
directing. Because
Because
he can do really good. He can frame some really cool shots, and but the thing is, there's nothing to them. There's no substance whatsoever.
what was that meme on Twitter going around like this image has more meaning to it than the entire MCU
Yeah.
combined?
Yes.
And it's like a picture of like Superman.
See, that's the thing. That's some DC fan. This is like totally opposite of what we were meaning to be on the show, but we'll have a DC bashing podcast some other time. But that's really the opposite issue with DC. They're like, Marvel people just don't like because it's so deep. No, the real reason they don't like it is because it's not deep. Just be honest.
It's like the joke I made when like the Batman v Superman it's like the Blu-ray with the 3-dimensional cover drops, so it's like I look at it, I'm like, hey, this is a good metaphor for the movie. It gives the illusion of depth on the cover, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. Like what's the line in Justice League when Amy Adams finally meets resurrected Superman?
Well,
and
I
she's
haven't
like,
seen it, so
she's like, you smell good, and
smell good.
Superman's like, but I did it before. Or Batman, or like Superman, like to Batman, do you still hate me? And then Batman's like, I don't not. Oh, this is so good screenwriting. Really good. How was being dead itchy.
yeah.
There's this
Justice
scene
League,
Justice
in the
League.
dialogue I've seen, at least. Again, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to
There's-
criticize it too much. It's like, it's like that really socially awkward kid trying
No.
to pick up on the cues. Everyone's like, you need to have more of a sense of humor.
Justice League is like the Zuck of Marvel, of like superhero movies. No, but I was gonna say this. I just remember this. the worst scene in Justice League is when they're okay. They got to resurrect Superman, right? You think you would send someone like Batman or like Wonder Woman to go dig him up? Okay, you know who digs up Clark Kent's grave? It's the Flash and Cyborg, and they're like
Having an
making these
awkward
jokes as they're
conversation.
digging, and like all these awkward jokes. And like you're literally digging up like a celestial being who sacrificed his life to save everyone. And like you said, the two comedy relief characters there, joking and like digging up Superman's grave. It's like a guy could come in and he's like, "What are these grave robbers doing with Clark Kent's body?" It's so out of place and horrible.
All right. I think it's about time we take another question, and this time I actually planned ahead, and I told Slime he could ask his question.
I thought we were to call him Sla from now on.
Yeah, I got over being politically correct. So let me give him the call-in role, and move him over here. Darn, I guess I didn't actually set up. There we go. All right, Slime, you're on the air. Yeah, we didn't give you any warning, I know.
Is he even here?
I don't know, but he's not muted.
Watches his mom comes in and tells him
Holy
he can't play the
fuck,
Xbox
thank you.
anymore.
Full disclosure, me and Orion were in a call once where that happened.
Yeah.
We won't say who it was.
Some poor kid had left his mic on and his mom was chewing him out over not doing his chores, and he got told like no Xbox for a week, and it was just
Hello.
Oh, hello, Slime.
there.
hello there.
Hello. How's it going, my friends?
Very well.
Hey.
He's imitating the
I-
socially awkward kid I said that Justice League was.
I have two
Hello,
questions.
fellow kids.
2 questions. You might be pushing it there, but
Well,
Go
I'll
on.
ask the important question. Question number A. Are memes good?
Yes, as I
and
said.
Yes.
Question
Yes.
number C. What do you guys think of Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
I don't think of him usually.
I'm kind of confused. Is it a live action movie or is it animated? I forget.
It's the first live action Pokemon movie.
Okay, then I am down with it just because Ryan Reynolds is playing Detective Pikachu. I don't think it'll be any good, but I think it'll be interesting to watch. I'm
No,
definitely gonna
all right.
pay it to see it.
On that scale, what do you think will be better, the Detective Pikachu movie or the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Wait, I did not know
Oh,
about
I
the Sonic the
forgot
Hedgehog
that's a
movie. Is that a thing?
Yes, that's a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Is it animated? Wait,
Yes.
what
It
studio
is.
is doing it? Is it Illumination?
I gotta look. It's been so long since I actually heard any news about it. I
Is
gotta
it
look it
is
up
by
again.
Blue Sky or something? Because like, if it's by Blue Sky or Illumination, hands down the Pikachu movie.
Okay.
Ghidorah says the Mario movie is Illumination, so I'm gonna bet that.
Jeez,
Was
handling
the Mario
best
movie
things,
confirmed?
like-
I thought that was still just rumors.
No.
There's
No, it's-
It
definitely
would be by Illumination.
guys. There was
Yeah,
already a Mario movie. It was the excellent. Nothing can top it. All right.
Mario Bros.
Okay. According to IMDb, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Blur Studio, and Marza Animation Planet.
Oh yeah, this won't be any good.
Well, yeah, that was kind of obvious when they said we're making a Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
No, it's just like.
I'm looking forward to a glorified train wreck.
I'm
say
looking
that, but
forward
I
to like that Pikachu man with Ryan Reynolds.
I'm looking forward.
What
to
were
going
you
fast
saying,
with
Slime? I
Sonic.
want to know what you're saying.
Oh no, I was just saying, have you guys seen the Sonic Boom TV show? Because
Yes.
that is
I've seen some of it.
the best. it's
I watched
a
the Sonic
dumb kid
X.
show, but it's very self-aware and very
Is it on
very
Netflix?
Sonic.
I don't know if it
No.
is.
Because like if it's on Netflix, I may have seen it. Because like my little sister just like watches anything on Netflix. Usually bad stuff.
Oh, if you've seen the Sonic Boom versions of the characters, you'd know it.
Okay.
They keep me awake at
Knuckles
night
is-
some days still, even though they're dead.
But I am excited for that Detective Pikachu movie, and like maybe not excited. Oh, hey, wait, Brick Crazy has a question I really want to answer.
What?
Maybe next segment.
Oh man, next segment. Okay.
But the thing that still gets me at the Detective Pikachu movie is like you're making a live action Pokemon movie.
Well, here, wait. Let me look up who's directing it. Detective.
It's
It's
just
mostly
such
just
a
weird because the game that it's based on is out and has been out for like almost a month now, and I've heard nothing.
I've heard
about
stuff.
Whether or not it's good, whether it's bad.
I've heard it's generally an all right game. It's nothing special, but
Okay, wait.
from what I've heard, it's
Don't
actually
write
like sort of
that.
like a Monog style game.
I'm gonna... Oh boy, I'm all over that. Then I gotta play it. Oh no.
What did you find?
This is bad. Okay, the director of the Pikachu movie is Rob Letterman, who is famous for the class, like my favorite animated movie ever, Shark Tale.
Oh
and
no.
Monsters vs. Aliens and Gulliver's Travels.
Oh no!
Shark Tale, baby. Yeah.
Oh,
Shark Tale may actually be one of my legitimate least favorite DreamWorks movies.
That's the movie that like Will Smith like goes up against like the shark mafia or something.
Yep.
Will Smith, man, come on.
The B
stop.
movie is better than Shark Tale.
Yeah, but like the B movie is only better than Shark Tale because of the memes.
Even memes aside, I'd say
Okay, all right, maybe.
Shark Tale is just not a good movie.
You like jazz? Yeah.
All right. Well, thank
never
you for the
forget part
question.
of the B movie where they say where they want the two main characters say that they want to make a suicide pact. Don't forget that part of the family-friendly movie.
I still don't know what the moral of the story was in the B movie.
There was no moral. Like, we're talking an extremely horrible movie. We're talking about relationships between a bee and a human, man. Come on.
It's just like at one point it's like all about animal rights, and then once they get the animal rights, like the world dies.
That is a strange message, though, because you'd think it'd be like the total opposite, you know?
Then I'm still not sure what the conclusion they came. Did they just say, oh, because then they look playing out the bees to be like slaves too. So was the moral of the bee movies enslavement of people or is necessary? Because I'm not comfortable with that moral.
I'm not comfortable with anything in the bee movie. I still enjoy it.
Story is don't worry, be happy.
You're tempting me to say something that could get me in trouble for being sarcastic.
Is it?
I want a B movie
because you're the head
sequel.
of the BCC.
He's lost his rights to talk. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
just me at this point.
All right. Thank you for the question, Slime. Let's see. How do we kick him out? That'll do.
Okay, so like, well,
All right.
do we get another question? Because I want to answer that question, or are we gonna do another movie?
We'll take one more question. I think we have one more main movie that we want to talk about.
Okay, do Brick Crazy's question.
All right. No one asked him if he was able to get on call though, so we're just gonna answer it. All right. Let's see.
He pinged me for it.
Live action fidget spinner movie, anyone? That I don't care about that question. That
No,
reminds me.
no.
What happened to the Tetris trilogy? I was so looking forward to that, and it just died. You guys remember that?
No.
Ryan,
I
you remember that, right?
I do remember that. I remember, shoot, there was a prominent like director for Illumination Studios or someone who was on board doing it. I can't remember, but it was a thing.
Why did it die?
Oh, wait, we were also supposed to get a Peep movie that had Adam Sandler in it. I remember that.
The Tetris trilogy wouldn't have worked because Captain N already did an episode on Tetris, and it was perfect in
Who?
every single way. Exactly.
We're just like
N, the game master.
What?
Exactly.
we're just like that guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. Okay, let's get to where's the legitimate question. I can't find it because people are spamming the questions. Oh wait, never mind. This is the general. No wonder. Oh no, I was in the wrong channel.
Nice.
All right, where
And then-
is it? Okay.
Actually, let me
Favorite
find
and
it.
least favorite anime movie. Okay, I will answer this one. My favorite anime movie is Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
No, I thought actually what we could do with this is I'll say anime, but then you guys can go what your favorite and least favorite animated movie is.
Sure, we can do that.
Okay, so
Dear.
ooh, this is a really tough one because I have like a ton of favorites. Ooh, let's see. Least favorite actually would have to be what was it? Wicked City by Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who did Ninja Scroll, which is a fantastic film. But this movie was just like I went into it expecting like a kind of a noirish thriller with like some demons in it, and I got just like, don't watch that film. It's not a movie. It's something else, and I'm not gonna get into it. But it's like it really turned me off. So that's the worst thing I've ever seen in anime for a movie. Favorite anime movie though would have to be like a cross it between three things. So we have Miyazaki's The Wind Rises, which is very underrated Miyazaki film. Let's see, Mamoru Oshii's Angel's Egg, which is free to watch on YouTube in high definition. I definitely suggest you checking it out. It's a really arty film. So like if you don't like that sort of thing, don't. But if you do, it's a must. And the other one would be like End of Evangelion. I think really love that film as well.
You know, I've completely zoned out.
Those are all good films. You gotta go check them out though, especially Angel's Egg.
Now, so I say if you want to check out some real anime, my favorite anime movie is Kung Fu Panda.
Okay, yes, that is a very, very, very good one.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time, legitimately though. That's
I don't think there's actually been outside of maybe Kung Fu Panda an American animated movie masterpiece in the 21st century yet, outside of maybe Kung Fu Panda. All the others are kind of like subpar or just like really entertaining, but not masterpieces.
Kung Fu Panda is just so great. And my least favorite one I mean, there's probably ones I'd hate more if I'd seen them, but
Kung Fu Panda 3.
No, Trolls.
Oh, ooh. No, I saw the Emoji Movie and Trolls. Emoji Movie is worse.
Well, I haven't seen the Emoji Movie, so that's not even in the running for me.
Okay, but oh man, I've actually seen that multiple times because my little sister loves it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not good.
What about you, Mal? Favorite anime movie?
Anime movie? I haven't watched, I've only watched 2 anime movies, so...
Are you really not following, Mal? Come on.
Mal, come on, man. Where's your
Yes.
core in the house?
That's not a movie, that's a TV series.
Quiet.
Yes,
Technically, they're called OVAs, but
I'm completely lost now.
just okay. Animated movie. What's your favorite and least favorite?
That's general. Like, there's 3D animated, there's 2D, and
Just.
How are you managing to lose my interest more than Orion was?
I'm very good at that kind of thing.
Okay, just general. Like, come on, man.
Let's say, my favorite animated movie from Disney.
Tenebrae
is
Invictus
probably
does
Aladdin.
bring up a good
Just-
point. The Room is a very good anime.
Yes.
Well,
Mal doesn't sound impressed.
I really love Aladdin as a movie, just in general.
As a
but-
movie.
Yeah, as a movie. It could be
Yeah.
other things, but least favorite animated film I have ever seen. That's tough. There are a lot of bad animated movies. Let's go with A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure.
What? I've never even heard of this movie.
I haven't seen it though.
I posted a review. This my IMDb. It's my only review on IMDb.
Wait a minute. Yeah, Mal has seen Food Fight, and that's not in the running.
Oh wait, yes, Food Fight. I blotched that out of my memory.
Right.
Mal's like, thank you, LQ, for releasing that trauma in my brain.
Those dead.
So does Food Fight take it?
Probably, yeah.
You know, I legitimately thought Food Fight was like something they gave away for free in cereal boxes when I first saw like the picture for it.
Well, here's the thing though, it's hard to say like, oh, is it a worst animated movie? Like, I don't even consider it really a movie almost. It's just it's so poorly put together. It's like saying a home video is a movie, you know, like that you could compare to something like
the junk blender version that you find on YouTube, like those bad 2000 animations. Only it's all mashed together for some reason. Like the character designs don't add up. The voice acting, I don't even want to talk about, and the backgrounds, like everything just makes your eyes hurt after a while.
Well, and it's like that weird, like they hardly got him out of just like the basic CGI model stage, you know? Like they're not touched up. Their movements
like when you
are
watch
very
like
pre-rendered.
deleted scenes from an animated movie.
Yeah, like those Ratatouille behind the scenes videos.
I don't think I've seen those actually.
Because it looks like that. Yeah, the whole movie, all of Food Fight looks like pre-rendered linguini.
Also, there's like lots of weirdly, it's
a lot of
very
innuendos.
tonally terrible. Like the tone just shifts bizarrely quickly all the time, and yeah, it just makes you feel sick after watching it. Like you're a lesser human being for having experienced it.
And yet you sat through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Orion, have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, I've seen it. Although I actually saw it like before it became before it was reviewed by IEG and became like a thing to watch, you know.
Yeah.
I saw it like on YouTube or something, you know, just like out of curiosity because I'd heard from some people it was really bad, and it was, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one of the worst things.
So we'll get back to questions, and Leo, if you could actually make a list of who can get on call that has questions, then if we can pick from them later. We are now at, I think, the last movie series that we were going to defend that generally people act like no one else likes. And some people should have seen this coming. You guys gonna say it or should I?
Let you say it.
The Star Wars prequels.
Well, my favorite.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's like with the Star Wars prequels, I feel like people who like the Star Wars prequels, even if they don't have a good argument, like they have more diverse arguments for why it's good than the people who hate it. Because like if you boil down like the building blocks of the arguments to people who hate it, it always boils down to two things.
Jar Jar.
It's either Jar Jar, or it's like between like something vague like special effects or editing or cinematography. Like, man, this movie's so bad it doesn't even have cinematography. What are you talking about?
Those George Lucas wipes. I mean, how do you call that editing?
George, this is what happens when a director has too much creative control. Whereas you're forgetting like he had the same amount of creative control when he did A New Hope. And like he was basically running the show with the Return of the Jedi as well.
Yeah,
the only movie he didn't have as much control over was Empire Strikes Back because
he's the best one because he didn't have.
Even though everyone hated it when it came out.
Yeah, everyone hated it when it came out, and I actually still think that outside of a few sequences, Empire Strikes Back isn't as good as people say. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10 movie.
That's my feeling with like the entire original trilogy.
No, I really, really like A New Hope. Like, I'd say
New Hope is my least favorite of the original 6.
Then there's like...
The original trilogy to me feels like one giant film that they intermingle so well together. Like, I can't usually separate them, but I mean, A New Hope can be a bit of a bit more of a slog at times. Like 20 minutes until you're introduced to your main character seems a bit much. Yeah.
It could be. But I like. But
Actually,
yeah,
I find Luke just incredibly boring.
I like Luke a
Until The
lot.
Last Jedi, then he's cool.
Actually, yeah, The Last Jedi is when Luke is at his best.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, because you added this character that
We're
you,
lucky
you
Ford
know,
is
establishing
asleep.
yeah.
Pretty much.
But like with Empire Strikes Back, though, the first bit on Hoth, I actually don't really like that bit. I think it drags on a bit too much, and it doesn't like it doesn't click as well as it should for me. I don't know why, but it just feels out of place. I don't know. It doesn't feel not grounded, but it just doesn't feel establishing enough. It just like throws you right into it, and you're just like just on Hoth somewhere. I don't know. I'm not really connected
I
to
like
that scene.
that because it makes it feel more like.
All right.
Time has
We're not here to
passed,
talk
you
about
know?
the original trilogy, though.
Fine,
It's-
prequels.
So-
Prequels are best. We
it's-
can all agree on that.
There's
Like,
again, they have flaws, mainly being the dialogue, and not even exactly the dialogue, but
no,
a
the
lot of
dialogue is just about the same as in the original trilogy.
is.
Like, you're not gonna tell me that the lines are cheesier than in the
I
original.
think the biggest
Come on.
issue is that they could have had more takes of them.
They probably could have,
Yeah.
But-
I mean, yeah.
There's no arguing our side to someone who really doesn't like the prequels. We're just
You
doing this to make
can't.
ourselves feel better.
Well, here we don't
I
have
don't
anyone
like-
arguing against, you know.
I like talking about the prequels. Bring it on.
But here's the problem, though, is that people act like, oh, at least the new movies are like better written. No, they're not. They have like The Last Jedi has more plot holes and is like worse structurally written than the whole of the prequel trilogy. There are more gaps of logic. There's more consistency in the prequels than there is in the new Star Wars movies by like a large margin.
Keep in mind when we're saying that we actually like both The Last Jedi and the prequels too.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, and that's just a testament as well to like how much I like Rian Johnson. There's like a lot of stuff that I just do not like in The Last Jedi, but I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna buy that Steelbook as soon as I can of the Blu-ray, but I had a lot of fun with that movie. It was amazing.
See, I think that's also why we come at it a very different way than a lot of people. Like, generally, okay, me and Mal are in a different opinion than Orion on this, whereas we still like The Force Awakens, and Orion doesn't like it at all.
No, it's too generic for me. It's too
And
too similar to A New Hope, and
I would
don't like
totally agree
JJ's
with
direction.
your
Yeah.
points on that. I
It
still
is,
just
but-
enjoy it for a variety of mostly just because I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I have
enjoy Star
major
Wars in general,
issues.
but-
Actually, I have less like of the big issues with it. I have than I do with
I
The
agree
Last
with that
Jedi.
too. There's less big issues in The Force Awakens. I think the script, like I don't think it's an exciting script, but I think it's technically more tighter.
Yeah,
It's like a tighter made script than The Last Jedi. The Last
But-
Jedi played things very fast and loose.
I think that's why I generally don't like The Force Awakens as much, and it is my least favorite Star Wars movie out of all of them because it takes no risks.
Wait, A New Hope?
The Last Jedi, not The Last Jedi, sorry, The
What?
Force Awakens takes no risks.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The New
you
Hope is
kinda
my
different.
least favorite of the original 6. I
Okay.
still like it better than The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah.
my least favorite Star Wars movie is Ewoks.
That doesn't
Battle for
count,
Endor.
Mel.
Yes, it does. I had to watch it, man.
But so yeah,
Oh.
it's just even though generally I think The Last Jedi is a well-made film, it's something about it, and I think it's the fact that it doesn't take any risks that just
The Force
disconnects
Awakens,
me
not
with
The
it.
Last Jedi. Stop.
They sound so similar.
But again to the prequels though, like what I said, they are more consistently written than The Last Jedi or any.
Yes, they
like,
are.
Yeah, I like there's a
Lore-wise,
clear arc.
the prequels are the best part of Star Wars, I think.
I definitely agree. Because I think this is exactly what Lucas was trying to achieve. Like people criticize it. Oh, it's overly melodramatic. It's cheesy. They all these effects or whatever. but it's exactly what George Lucas was trying to capture with the original trilogy and mirroring all those Buck Rogers serials. You know, and if you don't like the prequels, that's fine. But it's just because you don't like that stylistic, you know, that style. You shouldn't criticize it for like all these other very shallow things like Jar Jar. I mean, yeah, Jar Jar's not great, but he's not in the rest of the other movies. And I think if C-3PO, if you gave him the same lines as Jar Jar in those same scenarios, people would lap it up. And I mean, C-3PO basically is the Jar Jar of the Star Wars movies.
Think of it, I could totally see C-3PO doing most of the stuff Jar Jar did.
Yeah,
and think of it, in episode 2, C-3PO does basically the same thing Jar Jar did in episode 1.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is like the only reason people don't like Jar Jar is because he has a stupid voice. If they gave Jar Jar like a more nuanced voice, people would like, you know, they let it slide more. And that's only in the first movie. I think the rest of the movies, you know, they're definitely better without Jar Jar, but it's just like, can you let it go already?
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone except for Ford who legitimately like really likes Jar Jar.
I mean, I'm at the... I can find points where Jar Jar is like, okay, I can see him as a misrepresented character, but then he does something stupid, and I'm like, never mind.
But he's not as glaring of an issue to me as a lot of people make him out. I still have a bigger issue with the Ewoks to this day. I hate the Ewoks.
Well, it would have been better if they would have gone with Lucas's original idea. It would have been the whole Chewbacca, you know.
Of course, then we wouldn't have gotten in the prequels, which is a way better representation than we would have ever gotten in Episode 6.
Right, but like they only didn't do it because they didn't have the budget, and then they just like downgraded the suits, you know.
Speaking of that, I'm totally gonna forgive Solo for existing if Lumpy is in it. I still hold to that. Because from the last trailer, Mala seems to be in it, so I'm crossing my fingers that Lumpy is also in it. And if he is,
I told you he's probably gonna be in it.
Then it's forgiven. I won't complain about that movie existing at all.
And this is all from me getting you to watch the holiday special, and then me making the joke about the Chewbacca figure looking like Lumpy.
Also, wait, what's that other thing? People criticize the prequels for, like, oh, the politics or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, that's something I legitimately don't get. It's not in it that much.
And it's really good for setting the stage of the story, like
because it feels more like a space opera with like the backdrop of the intergalactic politics, you know. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, oh yeah, that came to mind because I remember a scene from like the honest trailer for the prequels where they're talking about how it just drags on and on to the politics, you know, and it doesn't really.
I think there's a total of like in episode 1. I'm probably going on a limb here. Probably around 10 minutes of the pure politics stuff.
I think it's about 15, actually. I guess that's what I remember someone saying.
Maybe 20 because the Naboo stuff also has some politics.
Okay, just involving all of Star Wars is literally politics. It's a war. Wars are political. So
it would have been weird if they left it out. People would just like, oh, you shouldn't try to fix the prequels. You should just delete them. You know, they would have been better if they don't exist. I don't know. Would you rather like not have had any Star Wars for the past 30 years?
I would not be into Star Wars now if not for the prequels.
No cool Star Wars toys. All the coolest toys come from the prequels.
That's true too. Like
it's extremely creative. Like, what cool toys are you gonna tell me came from like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi?
Empire Plot.
But it's with the honest trailer thing I brought up though, and I've said this before, it is a lot like pop culture permeates this hatred. It's like it's this normal, like it's ingrained into people's heads. You see it everywhere. It's like Big Brother watches and tells you to hate the prequels.
First, I think the main issue with it is, first off, the old fans who went in to see the prequels and expected, it was like we were saying with The Hobbit earlier, the exact same thing.
And bravo to Peter Jackson and, you know, actually, and George Lucas for not pandering to the fans, because that's what kills franchises.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the prequels, it did very well financially. I think one of them did way better than Empire Strikes Back, even if you adjust for inflation.
So I think it happened with those people originally set the precedent for it, where they kind of looked at the old original trilogy through rose-tinted glasses, and then you have the people who legitimately just not their thing, and the prequels aren't for everyone. They're a very specific type of movie, made for a specific type of people, like we were talking about. Most movies are not for everyone. I think the reason we like them so much is because they're so risk-taking and not for everyone, actually.
There's also...
But see, here... Oh, go ahead, Mal.
I find another thing, like you're saying how deeply the hatred is ingrained in the culture itself, but I'm seeing a lot of that is starting to lift up.
It is lifting. Now, it's fading a lot more.
Well, it's actually thanks to the memes, I think.
Yes. I think the memes and the fact that the people who grew up with the trilogy are like, hey, this isn't that bad. I like
definitely. The people who, like,
and
our age...
they're becoming more verbal.
Who, like, were very, very young when the prequels came out. And, like, so, you know, not old enough to really be influenced by the people who didn't like them, but old enough to be influenced by the people who did.
Well, there's a lot of people my age who actually, who don't like the prequel.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the phase, and you'll remember this when I didn't like the prequel.
There was a legendary argument between me and you and Mace.
Yeah, and I now I see my flaws now because like all my arguments are very straw many, and like all my arguments now are still.
You made the politics argument.
Yeah, basically what I was doing is I was quoting like CinemaSins and like honest trailers and like all the memes that like make fun of it. But I remember when I first saw The Phantom Menace, that was my favorite Star Wars movie. And then like after I finally got access to the internet, like a good boy, you know, after my parents moved from the wilderness, and I got access to like all the popular culture.
Were you allowed to watch Star Wars as a kid?
Yeah, I was.
I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah, me too. But like after I got internet, I got exposed to like, you know, all the cynicism. Like the internet's full of cynicism. People love negativity. So I got really into that, and you know, I saw like a Jeremy Jahns review or something of like the prequels. I was like, man, this funny guy, he's preaching. You know, he knows what he's talking about. And I just started like copying people's opinions on that sort of thing. You know. Yeah, and then I just didn't like the prequels for that reason. And I don't even think at that point I had fully finished all of them. I had seen The Phantom Menace a couple times, and I had seen like parts of Revenge of the Sith and Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones. I didn't appreciate, you know, what Lucas was going for. I was just going off of what other people were talking about, you know, because it was fun to hate them.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after a while, like I remember I bought all the steelbooks for the prequel trilogy because I thought they looked so cool, you know. And
I have some. They do look so cool.
Because like they got like Darth Maul on there, and they got, like,
I have that one,
and it looks so great.
I have the one with Maul and the one with Grievous,
and and Grievous, like again, all that cool stuff. And I watched them on Blu-ray, and I'm like, dang, these movies look amazing.
Yeah, I remember it was basically you were going through that and we were just having fun and laughing about stuff in them.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm laughing at how bad it is, because I don't laugh at how bad it is. They aren't bad movies by any means. I'm laughing at how much fun they are.
They're just, you know, they're fun, whimsical type movies.
Yeah, and it is fun to make fun of, like, some of the bad acting from Hayden Christensen, but it's arguably part of the charm of Star Wars is the bad acting in some regards, you know?
The original saga did have a lot of bad acting. In fact,
Mark Hamill's best performance is in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, he like totally blows anything he did in the original trilogy out of the water.
That's actually his best performance, because I think George Lucas is a good visionary, but I don't think he's the greatest director of actors. Honestly, that's why the performances in Empire Strikes Back are a lot better than in.
I really think Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill in A New Hope didn't give good performances. That's a really
Carrie Fisher still didn't give a good performance in The Last Jedi, if we're being honest. I think it was better, but not by a long margin.
When you think of good performances, you think of mostly Harrison Ford in the original trilogy. And that's because Harrison Ford just doesn't need a director.
No, I would have loved to have seen a movie directed by Harrison Ford, actually, because I think he could have done a good job.
It's not too late for that.
I keep thinking he's dead for some reason. Just because he's so old and he died in The Force Awakens, you know?
Yeah, he's not dead.
Also, again, people, I'm seeing this in chat about the sand meme. You know, I can't believe people use that as a legitimate argument for why the prequels are bad. It's like,
That
oh,
was
the
like an
sand.
incredibly awkwardly written scene. But there's two
But
issues with that. It's one scene, and also I think it was kind of meant to be awkward.
yeah, like the relationship between Anakin
No one's going to
and
argue it's a good
Padme.
romance at all.
Yeah, no one's gonna argue it's a good romance. I think in concept it is, and like in Revenge of the Sith, there are really really good scenes between Padme and Anakin.
Revenge of the Sith really doesn't have any dialogue I could say you could legitimately make fun of.
No, it has dialogue that's up to par with, or like a lot better than the original trilogy.
I'd say better. I'd say it's about like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and it's definitely
There's
more
nothing that's
quotable
blatantly
than the
wrong.
other
Like
movies.
Episode 2 definitely has dialogue that's like blatantly
Yeah,
miswritten.
It's pretty. Yeah.
And-
Although I would say Episode 2 is one of the best looking Star Wars movies.
Episode 2 is one of my favorites just because of, Episode 2 introduces so much lore into Star Wars, so many planets. You have the Clone Wars is my absolute favorite era of Star Wars. I love Jango Fett.
Like if it weren't for the prequels, you would not have all this cool Star Wars stuff. Like I still think like there are some good toys from like the original trilogy, but it's you know.
Yeah. I think we went on our prequel rant for about long enough now. I hope we managed to tick some people off tonight. That was our goal. But it is funny because I think especially when it comes to Marvel movies, we will argue a lot about our different tastes in those. But it's funny how, like, with all this stuff, the movies everyone else hates, we generally agree on that we like.
And I'm sure there's like a lot more. Like, okay, here's one that's maybe not as famous, but it's like, okay, Jurassic Park 3, not an absolutely abysmal movie. It's a fun movie.
It's better than the second one. I still think it's kind of
Yes.
boring, but
Kind of. I don't know.
I still.
think it's
What would
pretty-
have been the perfect one is if they combined the plot for 3 with the Jeff Goldblum of 2.
Yeah, that would have been. That
You
would have
can
been pretty
keep
good.
Dr. Grant in there too. Like have them. Why did they break up the original cast like that? I never understood it.
I think it was just at the time like they were all like doing different things.
That's
can't
what makes them
remember what,
feel
though.
like cheaper sequels.
Yeah, because like it's better when you have like the original team, you know.
So, yeah, The Lost World. Wait, is it The Lost World is the second one, or is that the new one?
No,
Fallen
Lost
Kingdom's the
World
new
is
one.
the
Yeah,
second one.
That one. The plot in that one is just absolutely awful, and like the supporting cast is probably the worst of any of the Jurassic Park movies.
Vince Vaughn, not very good.
All right. We are ready to take another listener question, and it seems Ghidorah can get on. I have no idea what his question is. We're going to do what we've done the entire history of this channel, though, and shoot in the dark. Let's give him the call-in rank. All right, Ghidorah, if you want to leave and come back, you can ask your question.
Or not.
Hey guys, nobody here.
Hey.
For a second, I was worried I still had the picture of the really buff J.K. Simmons on the stream, and that would have just been disturbing.
And that would just play the whole stream.
Yes. I don't know if that would be one of the few things in my life I could never live down, just putting people through that. All right, Ghidorah, what is your question?
I am very confused. Heck, I'm just gonna burn through this quick as I can here. Have you ever caught a good guy? If so, did he have all his parts, and where did you catch him at?
Australia.
Wait, you actually got a good guy set in Australia?
No. I wish.
No, I don't have any good guys. I make my own.
He builds his own heroes.
Yep.
A real human.
No, Orion's seen the one I built. I might take him to Brick Fair, actually, too. I'm just not sure if too many people would hate me if I did.
He He legitimately, it looks so horrible.
Orion, literally, just as we were doing stuff, Orion would just every few minutes look over at him and laugh.
I was so impressed with how badly it was made.
There's pictures of him out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take one right now because my desk is a mess. I found this Bricklink order that I thought I had lost years ago. And I just have tons of blue pins and black pins and all of these Rakshi staff pieces, which I was going to do something with, I guess. But I never did because it's been lost for literally 3 years. Oh, and the Elix spines in silver, which I think Maximus and Spinex had. So, they'll probably used in my Brick Fair mock. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh. Dang, that's actually a really difficult one. A lot of people are gonna pick flight,
You're
but
probably gonna pick perfect cooking.
no.
Oh, right.
You
Fred, you already had that power.
I have that power already. Yeah, you guys go first. I'll think of mine.
Oh boy. See, I feel like in the real world, combat-based superpowers wouldn't be that fun to have because then the government would get involved and they'd put all these regulations on you. And
Oh
you'd
wait,
just...
I know. Mind reading.
I feel like that would be really disturbing, honestly, though.
No, like mind reading or mind control or whatever, because then that's actually a useful thing. You could make money off of that. If you have if you've seen, now none of you have seen it, never mind, Mob Psycho 100, which is about it's an anime about this kid who has all these superpowers, but they don't benefit him in modern day society. So he has all these enormous powers, but he can't really make a life off of them.
You'd have to exercise a lot of self-restraint.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess maybe mind reading would be what I'd do. I don't know. Maybe. Because invisibility or super strength,
I would say invisibility would be better than super strength, personally.
It would be.
I think actually the best one to have would be telekinesis.
You think?
Yeah, because moving stuff with your mind would just be helpful in everyday life. And it would be useful.
What if you can control people to move things with your mind?
Well, there's not always a person around, but there's always things around.
Okay, yeah, but see, I'm thinking of how I could make my life more comfortable, how to get rich. I feel like mind reading would help.
What you need to do is go on YouTube and mind read to your fans to subscribe.
No, yeah, I could just do mass mind control people to subscribe to our channel and watch.
This sounds like a villain origin story plot.
Look, my villain origin story would be to mind control PewDiePie to just start posting our content to his channel. That would be my evil villain.
I feel like that'd make national news if PewDiePie just all of a sudden posted one of our podcasts on his channel. People would be so confused.
Or you could just mind control Zuckerberg to give you all his money. You just get within 30 feet of Zuck, and then just then the world is yours.
What about you, Mal?
Invincibility, immortality, that work for me.
What? I would hate that.
Mal
I don't want to
wants
live forever.
I mean, immortality would be cool at first, but after a while it'd be, if you if you're a poor person, then it's just oh well crap. Now I just live in poor conditions forever now.
Yeah, I don't want to live in this world forever. That sounds awful. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Hear that, everyone? LQ wants to die.
He's gonna head to the afterlife, Idaho.
Imagine if you died and the afterlife was just Idaho or my house.
Pretty sure that's hell.
That would be perfect.
So hell. The first words you hear in hell are, "Hey guys, BCC."
Oh
here.
Boy. Okay. I think that's enough of this.
Hero Factory.
We cook you.
No, on today's episode of Cooking Hero Factory, there will be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
So you're legitimately sticking with that, Mal?
Well, come on, that's lame. Come on, man. You could be what if your superpower was like an ink heart, you know, you're a silver tongue, you can read things out of books or something. Like you could lip smack things out of books, you know.
I mean, I'm always for invisibility, but
Well, who is Mal fighting? Like, why does he want invisibility? Like, what would he do? Mal, you'd literally do the exact same things you're doing today without invincibility. You would live a normal life. Like, what would you do? What would be different?
I said invisibility, but yeah, that would be
Wait,
the same thing.
What?
Oh, no, you said
You
invincibility.
totally said
No.
invincibility.
No, like translucent, except for my facial hair.
Mal is like, I don't want to be invisible. I want to be translucent.
Okay, that's what we're locking in. Mal's preferred superpower is translucency.
Does that mean like you could stick your hand like through Mal and just like he's
No.
like this weird?
No, that's
jello?
intangibility, not translucency.
No, well, okay, translucent.
Translucency just means like less transparent than a window.
What?
It means light can get through it, basically.
Okay.
Windows are transparent from one side, though.
Mal's superpower would be illiteracy. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I would have mind reading. Mal would have translucency. And wait, LQ, what was yours again?
Telekinesis.
We would be the ultimate team. We would be the Revengers.
All right.
They can make a really good
Tell you
thing,
what,
though.
if I had a superpower, it would be creating quality content.
No, it would help better if it was more like Patreon donations. That was
Wait,
that was your superpower.
All right, Gid. Thanks for the questions. We're gonna take some more now. Give some other people a chance. All right, let's see what we've got here. Here's another from Brick Crazy.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a desert island and were forced to watch a single film on an infinite loop until your ultimate demise, would you choose Avatar: The Last Airbender live action or the B movie?
That's actually really tough. Like, if this is like if you just give me any choice for a movie, I would say The Departed, Martin Scorsese's, because I could just watch that on an infinite loop. But out of these two movies,
I haven't seen The Last Airbender, but I feel like that would be easier to not get annoyed at after so many loops. You'd be able to like zone it out easier than the B movie.
I would pick The Last Airbender live action, actually.
What about you, Mal? What the heck are you typing?
I was just, you know, I'd go for Last Airbender because it would remind me of something good in the world. That there was an actual series that
I
was
feel like
good.
with a higher budget, that movie could have been like prequel level, because there are some legitimately funny lines in it that are meme worthy. Like when Zuko is like getting Aang or like trying to look for him, he like yells at these waterbenders. He's like, "Bring me all your elderly," and it's just like, it's so funny.
That sounds like something a predator would say.
I don't know. Zuko's not really a great predator. M. Night Shyamalan is the apex predator of quality.
So yeah, I would definitely the B movie. I could just tell it's too easy to get annoying, and he couldn't zone it out.
Like there are parts in The Last Airbender that, you know, there's not a lot of dialogue or music or whatever, so you could just you could fall asleep to it.
That's true.
I feel like I'd rather hallucinate characters from that movie than I would hallucinate like Barry, just like constantly just like taking me off. So just asking me like, hey,
Barry is like the animated
like
version
jazz?
of Leo.
Like jazz? Like, yes, Barry, I like jazz. Go away. Let me eat these coconuts in peace.
Yeah, I don't
Where would
like
the
the
power
texture of
source
coconut.
be to power this device that's playing the B movie forever. Like where's the power coming from?
Yeah, hope.
Hope.
It's the same things that power rebellions.
Oh my god.
We were talking about,
like,
Ryan,
I'm
were you
a
there for
rebel,
that
I like
conversation?
jazz.
We were talking about how, like, the Rogue One has way more memes in the trailer than the actual movie.
Yeah, I don't like Rogue One at
I do.
all.
I like Rogue One a ton, actually.
I feel like they butchered it in the editing room, and it's probably
Oh, I
one
won't
of my
deny
least
that,
favorite.
but I still really like the movie.
I'm just they wasted Mads Mikkelsen, man. I can't forgive that.
All right, let's see if there's any other questions here. Fact: USB drives use quantum tunneling to store data. What do
Is
you
this
guys? What's your opinion on that?
Well, if it helps me watch Avatar: The Last Airbender on an infinite
Okay,
loop, I'm
here's
good
a
for it.
legitimate one that I want to clear up for the 100th time. What does BCC stand for?
It stands for Bionicle Comedy Central, lol.
No. It doesn't stand for anything anymore. What happened was we were once a bunch of idiot kids who wrote comedies, and we decided to do something else but kept the name because that's what our group had, and now we're the BCC crew. That's it.
It's literally just a brand name. Like that's like I don't know if this is like applicable as a I can't speak, but like as a comparison, like what does Coca-Cola stand for or whatever? It's like it stands for Coca-Cola.
And cocaine, drugs, but
Yeah, well, it did originally have.
yeah, it
cocaine
did
in
originally. It obviously doesn't anymore because there's no drugs and coke anymore.
Yeah, obviously. Which is why I have it in all my videos, like my cooking.
Oh, except for that one you forgot.
Yeah, dang it.
So yeah, it really doesn't stand for anything. It definitely does. Bionicle Comedy Central technically still is like a sub thing. It's a playlist on our channel. It is not our group name though. We do not.
It's a bit like TTV, It's not necessarily the three virtues anymore.
Well, that's not even not necessarily. That's not at all.
Uh-huh.
I think the only people that call them that are still some people from BZP who haven't caught up.
Here's one from Ghidorah though. What is your worst nightmare?
I have a legitimate answer for this.
Forever.
I gotta think. I can't remember the details. Well, my worst nightmare the other night was one about Brick Fair, actually, where we were having issues with members using witchcraft.
Sorry, what?
Yep. And I don't know why, but yeah, like someone got involved with witchcraft. It was like a drug for them, basically, and they couldn't get off of it. And then, like, because of that, I was dealing with that, and we were like up all night, and we never went to the house we were renting, so they rented it to someone else.
That's weird.
Yep. And that's my worst nightmare recently.
Mal, what's your worst nightmare?
Mal actually left.
Oh,
He was
Why?
supposed to wait until we told him to leave, but I guess we got caught up in something else.
Okay. Well, I don't I haven't had like a bad nightmare in a while. Not even bad ones. I don't know. Theoretical worst nightmare, maybe.
Theoretical worst nightmare. I feel like that's a bit personal.
What? No, all my worst nightmares are personal though. I'm gonna find some meme one. I don't know.
Meme worst night. What's your memeiest worst nightmare?
Memeiest worst nightmare. Oh, okay, yeah. Being trapped in a room with Ewan McGregor, but being unable to say hello there.
I don't think I have a memeiest worst nightmare. All right.
What if you were stuck in a room with Zuck and it was a staring contest?
I would not win. I would probably die. Yeah.
Do we have any more good questions?
I mean, this one feels like more of a loaded question for Ghidorah. What would you expect from a modern day Bionicle TV show?
I don't know what I would expect. I know what I want, but Also, wasn't there someone who asked like, would you be up for like a third Bionicle?
Yeah,
wave
kind
or
of. I
whatever?
felt like that was too long of a question too. The answer for me is right now, not at all.
Me, I'd be like, yeah, definitely.
That's because you missed the second one. You didn't have to
Well,
live through it.
I definitely think the second one like totally sucked, but
It's not.
I
No, that's not. It's not even like it's the fact that the people that lived through Generation 2 know the horrors we went through. You were like out in the middle of nowhere. You didn't get back from the middle of nowhere until Generation 2 was already over.
okay, I don't care though. I want another chance at Bionicle. I want as many chances as possible just because I like the first one so much, you know.
I don't. I'm totally burnt out after
My,
Generation 2.
my love for the first Bionicle wave, would, it constitutes my love or like wishful thinking for another one.
I really don't think that Lego's current business model that one will work.
Okay, well, you know what? Instead of a Bionicle G3, I just want another story-based not Bionicle thing. I want a story-based Lego theme, like a good one, like outside of Ninjago, which I don't know how long that'll continue for, but I want something like on par with Bionicle in some regards.
To do that, Lego, which I think Lego will be trying out some new things, and I hope they do try out something else story-based, but not in the same way. Repeating the Ninjago formula doesn't work. Shima Next Knight's failed.
Well, yeah, but like the thing though is that like Chimo Nexonites, like I feel like they didn't even put enough effort into it. Those things flat out were garbage.
Yeah, see, those are they're kind of like Bionicle Generation 2 where they didn't understand what made Ninjago special when they
Which
were
is
trying.
weird because like you spent so much time doing Bionicle, you'd think you'd understand like why it was good and continued to be.
Thing is, Bionicle was totally a mistake.
Well, like it may have been, but like from what I was looking at research-wise for some stuff I'm doing, like then they try to do Bionicle and like in lieu of like all those toys with like the storyline, like storyline-based toy products, and Lego wanted a piece of that.
Yeah, they did, but here's the thing: what the story that like the Lego executives wanted and like the creative people behind it wanted are totally different. And
Well, then,
most
like,
of the
why
stuff that
can't
got through that we
Lego-
love was because that the people behind Bionicle took liberty to do it themselves. Like, the story about how there was supposed to be no hand-to-hand combat in Bionicle, right?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
the only reason there ever was in when they darn, what's it called? The studio that made Minogue. Darn it, it's escaping me. There's something about the Crusades, but that's not it.
Take your time. Templar Studios.
Templar Studios, yeah. When
I
they
knew that one all by myself. I didn't even have to read the Discord chat.
Yeah, that one. They were told no hand-to-hand combat. They can only like shoot lasers basically out of their tools. That's why Toa tools are called tools and not weapons. But yeah, they just decided they wanted to make the Liwa versus Onua scene anyways. So they did. Or with
That's
Greg,
a really good scene.
Greg had a lot of people say Greg should have had some more control, maybe true in some spots, but Greg said basically Lego never gave him specific guidelines on what to do, and he was never rejected on anything he tried to do. So basically the only reason we got Bionicle is because no one was paying attention to it.
Or else they were just too scared of Greg. They were too scared of his awesome powers.
So yeah, it really was a fluke, and we see when they tried to replicate it with Generation 2.
But like I feel like they didn't even try to replicate it though. Like I didn't even get that.
They tried to replicate it Generation 2 was everyone's worst nightmare, to be honest. They brought it back and they watered it down too much.
I still don't understand. Like it doesn't even feel like they were trying. Like it didn't feel like they were trying with Hero Factory.
I feel like they're trying more with Hero Factory than Generation 2, to be totally honest.
They did.
And apparently, according to Christian Faber, we actually have all this archived. Lego told them to take it down. Hero Factory had so much more deep lore that Lego never let them bring out.
Like it was supposed to, like it was
like there's this conspiracy going on, and imagine how cool Hero Factory would have been if it actually had a continuous story and we got to hear about the conspiracy and all of this, and actually it had so much potential. It makes me mad that we got what we did. Like they're saying it's like supposed to be like an Incredibles type tone in the story.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah, like an Incredibles type superhero thing, you know.
That would have
would've
been
awesome.
so great, but I think Hero Factory is when LEGO started exercising stricter control than they did with Bionicle over the story, and it doesn't really work for that type of story. Though,
So,
you know, it does give me hope though. This latest season of Ninjago.
yeah, I haven't even watched it, but I've heard like a lot of things about how how in depth it is, and like how dramatic and like
Yeah, it's dramatic. It's way darker, and they actually, you know how for years LEGO would not mention the word death. They drop it all over in this season of Ninjago.
Cause like I smashed Woo or whatever or something, it doesn't have that same gravatas,
Yeah, and there's so many like spoilers for Ninjago for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But there's this scene where this one girl basically is going up to Lloyd with a dagger, and you're just certain she's going to kill him.
Wait, like you're certain Lloyd is going to die?
Yes, it feels like that, especially. It's an incredibly like creepy, tense scene in the show. It's really good.
I definitely watch it. Do I have to watch all the other seasons first?
No, I'd say you could totally start with this season, actually. It's actually like a soft reboot to the show.
Okay, I don't know. I might watch the original stuff just so that way I can like at least get some background, at least,
Yeah. You could probably skip. There's probably I could say you could totally skip Hands of Time, except there's like one important plot point in it is all. But yeah, Sons of Garmadon definitely blows the rest of it out of the water.
It'd be interesting if like Lego goes down that route and like, chooses to do more stuff like
that.
that.
A Bionicle show actually in the tone of Sons of Garmadon would be perfect.
I'm trying to think though, what would the art style be though? Like I don't want like that really cringy, cartoony,
I think the Journey to One art style is pretty good actually.
I haven't even seen Journey to One.
Yeah, you still haven't seen it, have you?
No.
But it was kind of like it was a mix of like 3D, cel shaded 2D stuff. It was very different from other things.
Again, I'm like, man, a Bionicle anime would be amazing. Not like a Japanese anime, but like the Last Airbender sort of thing, That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think the Journey to One style is the only good thing about that show. So I would really love to see. I think a full-length show with actual plot and good characters and stuff would be great. We kind of just answered a ton of the questions that we only briefly touched upon in that whole conversation. All right, so we're going to take one more question, this time from Tenebrae Invictus. This will actually be our first time talking to Invictus over voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, Envy, if you could just leave and come back.
Hey guys, Tenebrae from Invictus here.
Man, what a deep voice you have.
I guess.
Ryan, I think you invented like the first official public BCC meme with that.
It's a pretty good one.
What?
The hey guys, Orion from BCC here is like our first like public meme,
Oh.
We have great memes, but they're all like way too in joke.
I'm pretty amused by it. I love all the spin-offs of Orion's name. Or at least, I think the BCC from Orion one got me the best.
Yeah.
Just the good switcheroo.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Vsauce got nothing on me.
I wanted to do actually the late night show earlier around April Fools to talk about actually the process of what making those videos was like. And eventually we'll probably talk about it on the podcast or something at some point because it's interesting and we don't have time for that.
Video called Cooking Hero Factory Making a Meme.
All
right. Well, what is your question, Envy?
So this is related to Brick Fair, so I kind of had like what's a preliminary question, like one to set up, like to make sure like my actual question can get answered.
All right.
But how long are you guys planning on being there? Like, are you going during the exhibitor days and stuff?
Yep, we are going to be there during all the exhibitor days, and technically the Monday after it's over too.
Oh, sweet.
We'll be there for a full week.
Awesome. Okay, so This is like half hypothetical, partly joking, but I mean this could be made reality. So LJ and I are planning on being there starting from the day before it starts.
Okay.
So let's say we're gonna have a lot of time to watch movies and stuff. But let's say you guys have something that you want him to watch. Either it could be like really embarrassing for him to watch, like he could see it and get like totally pranked, or
Ooh.
you could show him something that you really want to impress him with, but it would be something I could set up for him and get him really good.
All
Or,
right,
you
I think
know,
I have
like,
2 answers to
blow him
this
away.
though, one for each. Something to really impress him with. We were just talking to him when he gets guest starring the other day, and he still hasn't seen Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
impress him with that?
What do you not? Do you not like it? Are you not? A
I
fan?
actually haven't seen it, but I've not heard like the best things about it.
It's like
It's very much a cult classic.
and like, but like the cult consists of like 15 people.
It's.
I don't-
I would say it's impressive for its music and visuals alone.
It's a great music video, essentially. I don't know. Yeah, you know. Okay, Tron Legacy. I say like to like prank him with After Earth.
Yes, and actually that we have history with LJ in
After
that
Earth or
movie too.
Neo Yokio or After Earth. Anything with Jaden.
Neo
Smith.
Yokio isn't a movie though.
But like, yeah, you got.
So
a point
after-
there.
LJ,
got-
I know you like anime. Let's check this out, man. I've been hearing great stuff about it. Let's watch. You'll just figure out what it is. You know, I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
But like, yeah, like After Earth, or I don't know if it was, you know, if we did series or whatever, like Neo Yokio, just because like how weird it is.
Neo Yokio is just incredibly entertaining
I've
for
seen
how
it,
horrible
like, 3
it
times
is.
now.
Yeah, we sync viewed it. That was like one of the first things we sync viewed when you got back.
Yeah, Neo Yokio. It's different. But like impress him with like, I don't know, like actually when I was with him, it's like, hey, man, it came off as like it's gonna be hard to impress this guy. You know, I showed him some anime, you know, and he was like, hey, this is pretty good. You know, but it wasn't like it was mind blowing or anything. I'm thinking, dang, I'm looking at my DVD collection. What could we show LJ? Could we impress him with? I don't know. Yeah, I like Tron Legacy idea.
There are a couple things that people said in the chat wanted to address. Ghidorah asked about Galador. He's actually watched it with the 2 really popular Lego designers that are
Really?
known. Yeah, like Tooth Dominoes and Nick Voss. He's watched it with both of them, actually. At
Wow.
least Nick Voss. He watched it with them.
Prince
And-
Galador himself.
Ooh, what an
And for
honor.
Leo, I'm pretty sure he's seen UHF. I'm not like too sure, but he's
Don't
pretty in
take
the
Leo's
weird out,
recommendation. That's like a
but
rule.
I'm just saying it's already been done. So,
All right.
but yeah, I mean, all right, I'll see what I can prank him with. But you guys
Yeah,
are
I'd say
more than
definitely
welcome
After
to
Earth, unless
help me make that happen.
Oh yeah. I'd definitely be willing to kidnap him again and like, you know, duct tape him to a chair, you know, put After Earth on. Good times.
Dude, that would make a good video, and
That
he wouldn't
would,
even know
yeah.
about it.
Get a lot of views, you know. Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
I know LJ has seen Reviving Bionicle. Orion hasn't though, and we still gotta watch it. But there's a reason that we've been waiting.
Yeah.
Do a live sync view. Oh, I mean, just like watch together.
Yeah, we were planning to watch it together. It was actually oh, darn, we can't say why. There's so much stuff we have going on behind the scenes that no one ever knows because half of it never comes to fruition.
So many
Never
good
sees the light of
memes.
day.
Yeah.
Like we have like this one thing that like we're like 100% sure that it would be like a sensation almost just
For
just,
us,
like,
at least.
Well, for us, but I feel like a lot of people just outside even Lego would like really get into like this meme thing that we have, but we can't share it because of just like other stuff. It's so good though. It's just like it's like the
Brian,
the
you're
meme
hyping it up
Bible.
too much. You're like me with the banner. And now everyone's
No,
gonna...
this is not a banner. This is like the work of a god. It's amazing.
Don't expect too much. I think it's good though.
All right. I won't have too high of expectations.
That's a
I'll set
good
the
way to
bar really
approach
low.
us.
Yeah, that's a very good way to approach our channel. When you introduce people to our channels, don't go in there with like too high expectations. Okay.
Expect nothing.
Yep.
Expect lots of Patreon plugs.
All right. Well, Envy, we thank you for the question, and it is now 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it is about time we should be wrapping up the show. So, I want to thank everyone who's listened in. We actually had quite a few people who stayed for the entire thing, and I'm surprised. We had quite a larger audience than last time, I think, which was like 5 people.
And I think it was like much more entertaining this time around.
Yeah, this time, well, because this time around we actually did a little bit of show prep, like a half hour before the show.
Yeah, we had a half-hour show prep.
But seriously, I want to thank everyone. This will be archived this time immediately on the BCC After Hours channel. I also put up the You Like Jazz video, which that was before even the B-movie stuff. That's just why I decided to name it last night. That was from 1 a.m. last night, actually. This is literally what the BCC is like off recording.
We should have like a thing where we have to record at least once a week a 1 a.m. video.
We could probably pull that off.
Yeah,
until we get
probably
sick. We can do stuff consistently until we always all get sick at the same time.
Oddly, never getting sick from a Hero Factory video.
Yeah, no, we've never gotten sick like doing our work.
Yeah, this. Not
Yeah,
hypothermia
BCC.
yet.
You know, like 800 days without an accident on the job. So, we do plan on doing this more often. I have other ideas I want to do for the show going forward. Like, I did want to talk about April Fool's Day, and especially I want to talk more about the behind-the-scenes stuff on this show, and just stuff we'd never have time for on the podcast. But here, we have the, benefit of not having to care what you people think of us. It's only going to get worse the later it goes.
Oh, yeah.
If you have, suggestions for shows, though, please leave them in the comments below, shoot us a message on Discord, or do whatever. And if you're one of the 4 people watching on YouTube and not from the Discord server, be sure to check out our Discord server. There you can join in, you can ask questions beyond the show. This is the most interactive thing we do on the BCC now since we discontinued questions on the podcast. Oh, by the way, that's a thing.
Is it still a thing?
Yeah, we discontinued the questions a while ago, but I think someone used the plug in the podcast anyways. The discontinuation is a thing. The questions were a thing because we didn't get any questions. What's so weird is we got so many more questions when we were smaller and had less consistent views on the podcast.
Well, it was because of Boncol,
Yeah, it was. Bionicle is weird.
We gotta find a new niche, Like, we gotta leech off of something else. We gotta find that new thing.
What could be a good new niche?
Next time Lego comes out with a new theme, we gotta get on that thing. We're just gonna pump out as much.
Guarantee it fails. That's a whole another topic we could have about what if Lego came out with a new theme. Probably one more so for the podcast. But that'll be for another time. So for the 8th time, I thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next live stream.